gender responsive case management. When we say gender responsive case management, it is not easy to handle this kind of situation. That's why it is very important to know what it's all about. And here is the rationale. The Republic Act 9262, or Anti-Violence Against Women and Children Act of 2004, Republic Act 9262, under the Section 61 of its implementing rules and regulations, states that the SWD should develop programs, rehabilitation, counseling, and other support interventions to facilitate the recovery or healing and reintegration of victim survivors of abuse into the community. Further, the SWD is mandated to conduct technical assistance and capability building for social welfare officers or social welfare of local government units, non-government organizations, and other intimate groups. Given the volume of VAW victims throughout the country and mandate of the department, there is a need to strengthen the capacity of social workers as a case managers in responding and handling clients in the most appropriate and gender-sensitive manner. There is a need for these frontline service providers to improve their knowledge of conducting case management and to enhance their skills with regards to the application of the various methods and techniques in case management with a gender perspective. Thus, the DSWD, through the Social Technology Bureau, developed Gender Responsive Case Management, or GRCM, as a practice model to ensure healing and recovery of victim survivors and to capacitate social workers as case managers in handling VAW cases in various forms and magnitudes. So a manual was developed to guide the social workers and address the following areas of limitation. So the first is knowledge. When we say knowledge, it means that it is understanding the causes and dynamics of violence against women and girls are gender-based and in using gender practice perspective. So the second one is the skills. So skills, when we say skills, it is in application, means of methods and techniques in case of management with gender as a practice perspective. And the third is attitude. So it means it is upholding the ethical standards of practice in the face of physical and emotional difficulties experienced as a consequence of working closely and constantly with victim survivors. So that's the role of social workers when handling VAW cases. That's why it is very important to know our limitations as a co-worker. So, part 2, the legal basis of this, number 1 is the United Nations Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or CEDAW, provides the basis for realizing equality between women and men through ensuring women's equal access to and equal opportunities in political and public life. So, it means that, however, it is including the right to vote and to stand for election. as well as education, health, and employment. State parties agree to take all appropriate measures, including legislation and temporary special measures, so that women can enjoy all their human rights and fundamental freedoms. So, number two, the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, or PFA, is a document adopted by governments at the Fourth World Conference on Women that sets forth government commitments to enhance women's rights. So, it means that it is also identified other acts of vow. Of vow include violations of human rights of women and situation of armed conflict, in particularly murder, systematic rape, sexual slavery, and forced pregnancy. The Beijing document also states that the vow also includes forced sterilization and forced abortion, forced use of contraceptives, and female infanticide and prenatal sex selection. And number three, the Declaration on the Elimination of Violence Against Women, or DVOW, which was adopted in December 1993 by the United Nations General Assembly, recognizes that violence against women is a violence of women's human rights. So it means that it is the declaration affirmed that violence against women constitutes a violation of the rights and fundamental freedoms of women, and impairs or nullifies their enjoyment of those rights and freedoms. And it may also explicitly recognize that vow is based on gender inequality. So, number four, 1987 Philippine Constitution provides that the state values the dignity of every human person and guarantees full respect of human rights. The state shall defend the right of children to assistance, including proper care and nutrition, and special protection from all forms of neglect, abuse, cruelty, exploitation, and other conditions prejudicial to their development. So, number five, Republic Act 7610, or Special Protection of Children Act, Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act of 1992 declares the policy of the state. So it means that it is the state to provide special protection to children from all forms of abuse, neglect, cruelty, exploitation, and discrimination, and other conditions prejudicial and to their development, provide sanctions to their commission, and carry out a program for prevention and deterrence and in crisis intervention in situation of child abuse, exploitation, and discrimination. So, number six, it is Republic Act 7877, or the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. So, it means that it is declares that the state shall value the dignity of every individual, enhance the development of its human resources, guarantee full respect for human rights, and uphold the dignity of workers, employees, applicants for employment, students, or those undergoing training, instruction, or education. It is towards this end, all forms of sexual harassment in the employment, education, or training environment are hereby declared unlawful. So, number seven, it is Republic Act 8353, the Anti-Rape Law of 1997, and Republic Act 8505, or the Rape Victim Assistance and Protection Act of 1998. It means that this Republic Act is declare rape is a crime and the state to provide necessary assistance and protection for rape victims and rape crisis center shall be established in every province and city to provide counseling, free legal assistance, ensure the privacy and safety of rape survivors, and to develop and undertake a training program for law enforcement officers, public prosecutors, lawyers, and medical legal officers, social workers, and barangay officials on human rights and responsibilities, gender sensitivity, and legal management of rape cases.